Yes.
I don't love everything that Todd did. I don't love everything that Andy Partridge does. But there's a certain part of Todd, and a certain part of Andy, and a certain part of Neil Finn from Crowded House, and each one of these guys just want to take it and be an amalgamation of all of that, of a piece of each one of those dudes. So I don't love everything. Like the Finn brothers thing,
right.
I'm not as crazy about. I love. Are you familiar with Crowded House?
Sure. Yeah.
They have They have an album called Temple of Low Men.
Yeah.
It sold about 4 copies.
That's right. Yeah.
Man, it's my favorite.
Is that right? Really?
Yeah, it's like one of my desert island discs. You know what I mean?
Right.
That would be one of them. But I love Woodface too. But I mean, Millard, that wouldn't be on his desert island disc. But that's different people have different tastes, you know.
Yeah, that's right. So, but anyway, each artist brings a little something to the table, and you kind of take what you like and leave the rest.
Right, exactly. Exactly right, man.
Yeah. But you talked about like sort of being glued to AM radio in the 70s, and I guess as far as you guys are concerned, there's nothing really to be. Unlike a lot of people of your generation who are like kind of embarrassed by the idea of commercial sounding music, they think it sounds cheesy or something. For you guys, there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed about or embarrassed about playing that kind of music, right?
Not if it has the right twinkle in the eye and the tongue in the cheek. You know what I mean? If it's got the right tongue in the cheek, we don't want to be dorky. We don't want any antlers on our music, you know what I mean? So we try to make sure that the lyric is cool, you know what I mean?
Right.
That a dude would be, would want to wear a leather jacket about it, you know what I mean? He wouldn't want to, put on tights and a tutu to what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? I feel it's leather jacket, cigarette rolled up in your sleeve kind of thing as well. But the commercialness of it is definitely a... there was acts in the 70s that I thought, McCartney and Wings, when you hear Jet or something on the radio, that's darn commercial sounding. With the and all that stuff, but it's got balls. It rocks in its own way. Badfinger, you know what I mean? That was super cool. But it had distorted guitars and had attitude. That's what I feel like that we have, I feel like we've got the cool vocals and the very singable melodies, but the crunch guitars, man, to toughen it up,
Yeah.
But we're also talking about a lot of times we're talking about heartbreak in our tunes, We're talking about getting stomped on by a chick, which is a sensitive matter. Which is, a million people have talked about it. We know that, of course, but we feel like people can identify with that because everybody's been shit on, before.
Yeah. So on the surface, it's very accessible, but at the same time, there are a lot of elements there for the asking inside of it.
Absolutely, Steve. Couldn't have said it better myself. You nailed it. The lyric, that's where on the surface it'd be like, yeah, that's nice. I can pat my foot to it. A girl might say that or something. But if you want to get down into the lyric, man, there's double meaning going on a lot of the time. It could be taken this way, it could be taken that way, and we did that on purpose. So the chick might be able to sing it, but it might have another meaning.
Do you think when you guys were growing up that something like MTV had more of a lasting effect on you than say the CMJ college charts, where you were more overground than underground? I take it.
I was, I would say that.
Although I guess, at the time, though, XTC was sort of a big on the college charts, not on MTV.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's kind of...
There were. Man, I liked MTV when it very first came out. Remember when it was like the first time you ever saw it? It was super cool, man. It had a lot of music that I kind of liked. And then it went into Culture Club and Thompson Twins, and I wasn't kind of doing that. I kind of didn't dig that. But you know what, Millard and I were both huge Kiss freaks, man. We're both in the Kiss Army. Both of us were in the Kiss Army. So, we grew up that kind of 70s influence of rock songs that lasted 3 minutes long. that's what I mean as far as commercialness. You know, we like to jam a great arrangement. Funk Papa Roll, man. Like I said, that's awesome to me, man. That makes me want to get up and jump into the wall.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
How about what happened with grunge and alternative in the early '90s? Was that something that sort of you felt alienated from, that type of approach to music?
Yeah, I did.
The darkness and the misery and all that.
Not so much the darkness. I can write a dark tune.
Mm-hmm.
I've written a couple of pretty dark, and man, I got Nirvana in a big way, and so did Millard, man. I mean, we flipped for Nevermind.
Mm-hmm.
We both sat there and went, Dave Grohl's the best drummer I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, awesome drummer. The songs were great. Lithium blew us away, man. We thought it was awesome, and man, those songs were very pop in their grunginess. But to answer to your question, I can sit here and babble forever, but I want to answer your question as directly as I can. Mm-hmm. I felt alienated from Pearl Jam and from that kind of darkness, and it's like, yeah, we live in a shitty world, and it's tough going out there. But music for me was always the getaway. Mm-hmm. If I want to be like all sad as hell, I'll just turn on the damn news, man.
I see. So you know, it was maybe a little bit whiny. I'm trying to sit here and think of some of the groups. Man, I thought Soundgarden was unbelievable. I thought Black Hole Sun was killer. Mm-hmm. I loved it, man. Mm-hmm. I was just like, it's melodic. It's heavy metal, yes, but man, Black Hole Sun is something I can sing. It's a great melody. The arrangement is excellent. It's a great song. You could play that on acoustic guitar, and it would still be excellent. Mm-hmm. So I didn't feel totally left out, but mostly because I want to listen to something that's going to make me feel good, even if it's a sad song. I can listen to A Day in the Life by John Lennon and go, that's a sad song, man, but I feel great, you know? Right. I see, okay.
Am I answering your questions? I hope I'm being a good interviewee.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Cool, dude.
Yeah, so there's about 4 more questions to go here, and there's one about one of your songs, Sticks and Stones. There's a line, Sticks and Stones may break my bones, but love will surely kill me yet. The guy thought this was very sort of indicative of the position you take in your lyric writing, in that it talks about an attitude that's very common and yet sort of profound in all of our lives. Something that's seemingly very mundane, but at the same time very profound. Is that an apt observation, you think?
I would say that's an apt observation, but I would almost wish that you would defer that question to Millard, because he's the one that wrote that.
Oh, I see.
And I think it would be unfair for me to... I do agree with you, but ask Millard. He wrote that. He wrote those lines. Mm-hmm. He came to me with that already written, so that came from his mind and his heart, so I think he would be better to answer that. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem. There is, let's see, the songs like Don't Say Goodbye and Average American are, by today's standards, almost, it seems almost conservative, because it's like the attention to the quality of the songwriting is so unlike much of what we hear these days. Much of what you hear these days is more attitude-oriented, or say texture-oriented, whereas these songs are all about the craftsmanship of songwriting. In your guys' case, I guess what's popular, what's in vogue doesn't really mean much to you, right? You have your own thing, and you kind of go in your own way.
Right. That's exactly right.
You're just sort of set in your ways.
Well, I just don't want to ever follow a trend, you know? Because I feel like that would not be being true to myself. And I'm trying to make me happy. And